Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/PettyRevenge. In today's episode, Karen looking for parking space blocks me from getting to my vehicle. Last chance, indeed, just not the way he imagined. No, Lee Sparks doesn't fucking live here. Ask me to pay you back for a gift. No, I don't think I will. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Karen looking for parking space blocks me from getting to my vehicle. I, 53F, am a disabled vet, and use a variety of mobility aids to get around. I also get almost all my healthcare and meds from the local VA hospital. This last Monday, I realized that I was out of some meds and hadn't received the refills yet, so I ran to the VA hospital pharmacy to get enough to tie me over. Since my local VA hospital is absolutely huge, I always use my mobility scooter, because there's absolutely no way I can physically navigate the parking lot, as well as the labyrinth that the inside consists of. After I completed my transactions and checked in with a couple of my health providers, I scooted myself out the doors with the intention of loading up my scooter in my vehicle, and get the heck out of Dodge. Now, with this being a Monday, everyone and their dog is trying to find parking to get into the building, so there are cars driving around looking for opening spots to park. As I'm heading past vehicles, one pulls slightly in front of me to block my ability to continue to move forward, and this Karen rolls down her window and yells at me for trying to cut in line. She was there first, yada yada. Guy in the car next to me is just staring at her with this absolute WTF expression, about to get out of his vehicle to help me confront Karen. I shake my head and back my scooter up to go a different way to get to my vehicle. She passes me as I reach my truck, and realizes that I'm loading up the scooter so I can leave. Well, she decides she's going to take my spot. Not today, Karen. I nod at the guy who wanted to help me, hop in my truck, and back out of the parking space in a way that blocks Karen, and gives easy access to the other guy. I did make sure to use all 5 fingers when I smiled and waved at her as I drove away. Last chance, indeed, just not the way he imagined. I've been taking my kid to this park in downtown for years. We always go in the late afternoon, which means 2 things: everything is hot still, and only some parking spots will have shade. I should also mention my AC is broken and I often bring our dog. So obviously I'm gonna park in a shaded spot if at all possible, and this is a busy park around this time, so I may end up passing over several sunny spots in favor of one in the shade. Funny thing is, all the shaded spots are often full because, gasp, other folks like parking in the shade too. Thankfully, no matter how busy it is, there's usually one on-curb spot that's still close and partially shaded, so I often park there. It is a fully marked spot on the public roadway, but it is in front of a house that faces the park. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I started finding notes on my window claiming the spot is private for that house, and people can't park there. I knew the spot was public but emailed the city anyways to verify, and they confirmed it was public right-of-way and public parking, not reserved for the residents, etc., fully covered all my bases. So I kept going to the park as per usual, getting a new note every time I parked in that spot. Finally I got one that read, "Last chance." He had also reparked his car as close to mine as possible in front, to make it harder to leave, I guess, but in the process, also blocked the sidewalk. So I took a picture of the letter and of his car parked on the sidewalk, then left. When I got home, I compiled 2 emails, one to the city's public works, and the other to the city PD. In the first, I detailed how the resident was blocking the sidewalk and not letting people park in the public spots. In the second email, I explained how the resident was harassing people and touching cars. Finally, I looked up the property in the city's GIS map. I had a hunch based on the out-of-state plates that they were renters, and sure enough I was able to find the actual owners of the property, and fired off some messages on social media to them as well. Today I received a follow-up email from City Works that they're reissuing a $30 ticket to the resident for blocking the sidewalk. The police are going to deliver it to also educate said resident on public parking. Welcome to the neighborhood. No, Lee Sparks doesn't fucking live here. Just spent over 30 minutes calling the assholes who woke me up this morning over and over from multiple phones. They keep looking for some asshole named Lee Sparks. I have informed them multiple times he doesn't live here. I have been what I would call nice for the past year. They have been calling. This morning I was not nice in the slightest. First I called from my cell phone and just said in a tone that would be considered angry that Lee Sparks doesn't live here, and since they woke me up I would keep calling over and over till they had PTSD like me from hearing my voice. I have been nice for the past year, but waking me up when I was sleeping nicely and wasn't having night terrors was the last straw. They weren't listening and started just hanging up on me or putting me into hold music limbo. So then I called from my cell phone and house phone over and over, constantly getting hold music or just hung up on. I think adding the use of my darling wife's phone was what really got to them. I just kept calling and calling. One guy I kept getting started using language I am sure would get someone fired. Finally someone called the house phone and said, "Are you saying Lee Sparks does not live at this number, sir?" "Yes, remove the number. Now if they ever call this house again I will add my son's iPad and Google phone on both my old ancient laptops to the mix and just sit in front of my Xbox and press call over and over till they get the message." But seeing as how they called back to just confirm that they dude isn't part of this household, I think I have finally got it through to them. Ask me to pay you back for a gift. No, I don't think I will. So my ex, 21M, and I, 21F, broke up in early June, and I've been a little annoyed with some of the things he's done before, during, and after our breakup, so I wasn't feeling particularly generous with him at the time of this story. So there's a really big music festival happening this weekend in our country. You go and camp there for the weekend, and you can pay about €30 extra, plus Ticketmaster fees, to head in the evening before the festival and set up your tent, have a decent camping spot for your friends, etc. This event hasn't happened for the last 2 years due to COVID, so we bought our tickets in 2020 when we were still together. My ex bought 2 of the early camping tickets as well, and I offered to pay for mine, but he said that it was okay, and that was that. Well, now we are obviously broken up. I texted him about 2 weeks ago and asked if I could come around and pick up my ticket. I wasn't very presumptuous. I did ask if it was still mine and he said it was. He then said, "Yeah, that'll just be €30, you can revel at me." Now, these tickets were still on sale on Ticketmaster, and are still on sale now, 2 days before they are needed, so I said, actually, I'd rather not have the hassle of coming over. I'll buy mine online. It cost me an extra €3-ish in fees. There is no way that he will be able to sell his now because they are so easy to get online, so he is just out €30 because he annoys me. Best €3 I've ever spent. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.